Election wins all over the country on Tuesday. Black women did extremely well, especially in New Jersey. So let me tell you about this story here. So Ashley Bennett, she's a sister, 32 years old. She's living in this small town, New Jersey. And so this Republican candidate, he decides to post a photo on Facebook of him wearing a denim jacket with a Confederate symbol with a flag on it, okay? So then he mocks the Women's March, saying, will they all be in time to come home to cook? Ashley says, oh, that's how you want to roll. So Ashley runs against him, and on Tuesday, whooped his behind. That's what he posted right there. That's the graphic right there. Will the women's protest be over in time for them to cook dinner? Wow. He now has lots of time to cook dinner because he lost on Tuesday. Joining us right now is Ashley Bennett. Ashley, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Roland?
Great to talk to you. You're now the new member of the Atlantic County Board of Freeholders there in New Jersey. Surely you taught him a lesson.
I think we did. I am so surprised by the outcome because he's an incumbent that has been in office for 20 years, and I don't think he saw it coming.
No, he didn't. And was it the Confederate symbol, or was it that crack of the Women's March that caused you to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go after this guy?
It was the Women's March that happened first, because what happened is I saw that in an email someone sent to me, the party did, and my friend called me. She said, check your email, girl. And I said, well, what happened? She goes, check it, call me back. So I looked, I said, oh, no, he didn't. And I wrote him a letter because I wanted to know, with 4 casinos closed, high rates of poverty, unemployment, foreclosure rates, the opioid epidemic, how do you have time to be on social media? I didn't get a response. So I went to the next Freeholder Board meeting, and I spoke out. And what we got at the end of the meeting was, if you were offended, that wasn't my intent. But the women I surround myself with are strong and were unaffected. So I walked out and I said, oh, no. I'm going to run. And
you won. And so, had you ever considered running for election before?
No. I never thought I would be in politics at all.
So, now what you going to do? What's your agenda?
Well, now I'm going to work.
What's your plan?
I'm going to work to serve my community. I got the privilege to run in the area where I live and have grown up. So it was such an amazing experience to go to classmates and former high school teachers and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Can I have your support? So that was huge. And so now we got to work on these issues. It's time to go to work.
All right, then. Well, Ashley Bennett, first of all, congratulations. Newest elected member of the township there. And I'm sure, again, your opponent, why don't you just do this here? Why don't you send him a cookbook? Why don't you send him a cookbook as a going-away present? I'm just saying. Well, that's not a good idea. Matter of fact, why don't you send him a real men cookbook? Matter of fact, Yvette Moyo, do me a favor, Yvette Moyo. Hit me an email. Let's send him a real men cookbook. Recipes of all these black brothers who cook. I'm in the book as well. And then it'll be courtesy of me. We'll do that, Ashley.
We shouldn't be gloating, Roland.
No, I'm sorry. Ashley, great job. Thanks a lot.
And
when you come to D.C., let me know. We'll have you on the set.
Absolutely.
All right, then, folks. Let's stay in New Jersey. On Tuesday, Sheila Oliver. She will be lieutenant governor along with Phil Murphy. She is the new lieutenant governor there as well, the first African-American to hold that position. In her victory speech, she had a special message for black girls.
This may not be the first glass ceiling I have broken, but it is certainly the highest. And I hope somewhere in this great state of New Jersey, a young girl of color is watching tonight and realizing that she does not have a limit to how high she can go.
Joining us right now from East Orange, New Jersey is Lieutenant Governor-elect Sheila Oliver. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Roland, and good morning.
Last hour, I had Justin Fairfax on, Lieutenant Governor-elect in Virginia. First of all, have y'all talked?
Not yet, but he certainly is on my to-do list.
Because it's not, let's just be clear, you've not had lots of African Americans in America elected to statewide office on their own.
That's absolutely right. He did a phenomenal thing in the state of Virginia.
For you, what was critical to your win on Tuesday?
I think that we have lived under the repression of Chris Christie for the past 8 years in this state. And you know, Roland, I was the first African-American woman to be Speaker of the New Jersey General Assembly. So I served as the Speaker for 4 years during Christie's first term. And a lot of damage has been done here. So I have been right on the front line of the communities affected by the public policy directions that Chris Christie has taken. So what was important to me in, getting on board and being a candidate with Ambassador Murphy was to work towards repairing this state.
One of the things that also jumps out when you talk about repairing the state is still the condition of African Americans. You see Ras Baraka there in Newark. You see what's happening in Camden. You see a black mayor there in Atlantic City as well. What will you do in terms of pushing public policy along with Governor-elect Murphy to deal with what's happening in those cities where we have lots of African Americans?
Ambassador Murphy and I are committed to developing an urban agenda for the state of New Jersey. And, I was a Democrat out of Essex County that supported Ras Baraka. And I know how hard he is working, how hard Dana Red has been working in Camden. I went down to Atlantic City to support Frank Guardian's election. We will have a very vigorous and robust urban policy agenda, and we will use the assets of the state to support black mayors and to support urban communities so that we can get on track with, reinvesting in the public education system, which has been gutted by $9 billion during the past 2 terms of Chris Christie. Our mayors can certainly benefit from our various departments and agencies to do redevelopment. You know, the millennials in New Jersey want to live in urban centers with transportation links. That is why Hoboken, New Jersey, and Jersey City, and some of the other towns, we must begin to focus on developing opportunities for millennials in these older towns with transportation hubs. And I know that we can be very successful in doing that. We are right between Philadelphia and New York City. We have a great transportation infrastructure, and our cities will benefit well in a Murphy-Oliver administration.
Janice?
First of all, congratulations, but I wanted to ask you, what are you going to say to your federal representatives about bringing the right kinds of incentives for development to New Jersey? You do have the resources. What about repatriation of some of this capital from Europe so that you can get some new investment into New Jersey?
Well, you know, we work very closely with our congressional delegation in New Jersey, and we first of all, we got to accept the fact that we have, Dr. Carson heading up HUD. We haven't heard a lot from him since he's been installed as the head of HUD, but we have great relationships with career employees that are in Region 2. Just last week, I met with members of the Association, the Administration for Children and Families, which is Region 2, right over in New York. So I think that there is an opportunity for us to make some progress working with those who have worked in the infrastructure of HUD and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. At this time, I do not have a lot of confidence that we're going to see any national kind of a federal policy be rolled out as it relates to urban communities. That is why it is so important that our states elect representatives in state legislatures, mayors, and county commissioners and freeholders, because local governing bodies are going to have to act as a firewall during the Trump years.
Derek?
Yeah, Sheila, congratulations again. This is Derek Holly. I wanted to ask you, Chris Christie, he left office, his approval rating was about 15%. Do you feel like you have to rebuild the trust of your constituents in terms of what you're going to do for who just elected you?
First of all, I have to tell you, there is broad consensus from one end of the state of New Jersey to the other that Chris Christie was not a good governor for this state. So I think that the constituents that I represent know what we have done in the legislature, because I've been in the legislature for 14 years. We've done some tremendous things. We've pushed good legislation to his desk. He just would take out his veto pen. But I think everyone in New Jersey is on one accord. And I must tell you that in the African American community in New Jersey, 94% of the votes cast by black folks in New Jersey were cast for Murphy and Oliver. So I think that speaks well of the confidence that constituents have that we can have some impact on their quality of life.
Angela.
Congratulations, Sheila. I was just real touched by your desire to know that a young girl in New Jersey was watching, but I think young black girls across the country are watching you. And as you are going to help set some models for what can happen in urban markets across the country, what are some areas that you hope to have a major impact in terms of national policy?
Well, you know, just last week, Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman hosted Congresswoman Maxine Waters here in New Jersey for a women's empowerment luncheon. And I have been, as I have other women across the country, been supportive of Yvette Clarke and Robin Kelly and other black congresswomen who have established the Caucus on Black Women and Girls. I will certainly be continuing to work closely to move that agenda. I support national organizations like the Black Women's Agenda, and there is no doubt. You know, some years ago, I ran into the late Reverend Vinnie Barrows in Puerto Rico, of all places. She was sitting on a bench. I chatted with her, and at the conclusion of her discussion with me, she said to me, "Young sister, now is our time." And I believe all across this country, now is the time for black women to step up and to assume leadership at all levels. Yeah. I think that young black girls need to be supported in developing healthy self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-image, and knowing that they do not have to be relegated to any stereotypical stature. And I look forward to working with black women from not only throughout New Jersey. I must tell you that in New Jersey, I got overwhelming support from black women's organizations, from the Divine 9 organizations, the Masons, the General Baptist Convention. Black women all across this nation are ready, as evidenced to black women's responses to, DNC Chairman Tom Perez when the transition was happening within the DNC. So I think black women are very clear and very aware. It's the 50th anniversary of the late Congressman Adam Clayton Powell's infamous speech, "What is in your hand?" Mm-hmm. The power that is in your hand is your vote. And I don't think we can negate the NAACP #StayWoke. I think sisters are woke from one end of this country to the other.
Scott Bolden, last question.
Yeah, congratulations, Sheila. Do you think it was the message, the Democratic message, or the anti-Trump, anti-Governor Christie that motivated voters to put Dems in these two top offices?
Sheila, about 30 seconds. Go with your answer.
All of the above. All of the above. I think all three factors that you mentioned contributed to the success we had on Tuesday.
All right. Lieutenant Governor-elect of New Jersey, Sheila Oliver, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Be sure to let us know when you're in D.C. so we'll have you on the set.
I certainly will. Thank you, Roland and company.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.